so glad to have all of you here today. So many people from so many places. Great to see so many of our Jeff State folks here. And we see several teachers, several students out in the community who are here as well. If you haven't already, please put in the chat who you are, what school you're at, and if you're an instructor or a teacher, how many students you have in your classroom, pretty please. We will be having times for Q&A between our different presentations.
You want to put your name in there?
Free to use your chat for that as well. Now I am going to mute everyone really fast just to make sure. I hear some background chatter. Don't worry, there will be a time hopefully for you to unmute yourself and ask questions if you need to, but that chat is always there. Thank you, L. Weeks, for being here from Hoover City Schools. If you could tell us how many students you have as well. Thank you as well, Childersburg High School, Pinson Valley, go Pinson Valley, that's right around the corner from us. Seth, that's really cool. That you're with the Fire and Rescue Service Explorer program. That's great. So thank you all so much for being here. And we will get started with our first video while people continue to sign in. Shelly! Hi, Shelly. Okay. Let me get this video up for us all. All right, so here's our first video with Dr. Vanessa LeBlanc, who's also here on this meeting, and the, I just forgot, and the Physical Therapy Assistant Program. One second, it's not letting me screen share the video. That's interesting. We hadn't tried screen sharing these videos yet, so going to be a second there, perhaps. Guess I'll have to open it in a different format than through the Windows browser. See if VLC works easier. There we go.
Hello, I am Dr. Vanessa LeBlanc. I am the Program Director for the Physical Therapist Assistant Program. Our program is a pre-admit program, which means students must apply and be accepted before taking PTA courses. We have prerequisite courses that must be taken that should be included in the application. We have a total of 9 of them, and you can find them located on our program's webpage. For our students, they will apply in January. It's due every year by the 15th of January for each year, unless there's a holiday, and then we'll push it back a day. So students will apply in January, and if they were accepted, they will have an orientation and then begin program courses in the summer. So we have a full semester of courses that happen in the summer, and they come back in the fall, and then in the spring they have about a couple of months from January to the end of April of clinicals. So our students practice in plenty of areas. Our students have clinicals in plenty of areas, including Birmingham and all the surrounding areas within our area as far as the college. So we have students that may travel to Jasper, students may travel to Montgomery to complete their clinicals. After our students graduate, they sit for a licensure exam. It's called the MPTE. So students must, again, complete our program, and then they must sit for a licensure exam. After they pass their licensure exam, they also must sit for a law test to make sure that they are eligible to practice in the state of Alabama. After completing both of those two exams, our students are eligible to work in a clinical environment. So places where physical therapist assistants work. You can work in a school setting here, like at Jeff State, if you decide that you want to be an instructor. We also have students that work in the school setting. We have students from K through 12 that require physical therapy in their school. We also have students who have worked in outpatient, skilled nursing facilities, hospital settings, also in home health. So as a physical therapist assistant, there's a broad range of things you can do in the clinical environment as far as your clinicals, and then when you finish the program, pass your licensure exam, and you are a licensed physical therapist assistant. There's another area that our students work in is work hardening. So you actually may be employed in a place like Mercedes. You may be working with the employees there to look at their workspace to see if it's appropriate for them. You may even help them changing or constructing where they're going to be seated, where their computer is. So those are other areas that a physical therapist assistant may work. Now, as far as transferring, currently we do not have a bridge program from PTA to physical therapy in the state of Alabama, so our PTA courses are not transferable. However, those prerequisite courses, those 9 that I've talked about earlier, those are transferable to other institutions. Now, so you have that one big question: how much does it pay? Well, it depends. All of my students know that's one of Dr. LeBlanc's favorite comments is it depends. Just like therapy, it's going to depend where you practice. When you're in an area that's needing more therapists, you may make a little bit more. So roughly between $23 to $28 per hour is what physical therapist assistants, their salary range. And again, that's based on per hour. We have some students that decide after they graduate that they want to do PRN. And what PRN means is that you work when you necessarily want to, or when a facility may call you, or you want to go part-time or full-time. All of those things are options for physical therapist assistants. Hello, I am Dr. Vanessa.
Okay, good morning. This is Dr. Vanessa LeBlanc. I am here now to field any of your questions. Do any students or any faculty have any questions about the physical therapist assistant program? Okay. Well, being none, there are a couple of things that I didn't mention on the video. We accept students, again, every year, applications due in January, we accept a total of 30 students. We take the top 30 students in the program, and those students will begin in the summer semester. We look at prerequisite GPA. We also look at your overall GPA. So we look at that overall to make sure you have a 2.5, and then we rank our students based on those 9 prerequisite courses, also the ACT. So some of you junior and senior students, we do have some students that start in the summer and they complete a summer and a fall, and then they apply in January of that year. So be mindful of your ACT scores. We are looking at ACT scores of a 21 or higher, and those scores must be achieved within 3 years of your application due date. So especially for my seniors, really take the time and effort to obtain some good scores on your ACT exam, because we do use that as part of our documentation for the application. So some things also, another thing that wasn't mentioned, we also have hours of observation. We do have an alternate activity due to COVID, because we realize some students are not able to go into the clinical environment because of COVID. So we have an alternate activity which gives the student a perspective of things that happen in physical therapy. We look at comparing physical therapist assistant versus nursing. So that's an opportunity for you to see the environment. And that's the point of our observation hour, so that you can see what really happens in a clinical environment and make a great decision of whether or not you want to be a physical therapist assistant.
Dr. LeBlanc, there's a question in the chat. Can we tour your facility?
Right now, we are not allowing people on campus except for students to be in a laboratory. We can look at possibly we have a great media team. We can look at possibly doing a recorded virtual tour so people can see what's in the lab. And in that video, I was standing in front of a new piece of equipment that we just acquired this year in September. and that's called the anatomage. And that piece of equipment is going to allow our students to be able to see the body in 3D. So they can see basically from the layers of the skin on down to muscles. And we are using that piece of equipment to hopefully bridge the gap between students having the anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 and then being prepared to take PTA courses.
I actually noticed as you were there, I said, I have not seen that cool little doodad before, so I was wondering about that myself, so thank you for explaining.
It's a real full live person digitally. Okay,
That
for students returning
looks
career.
really cool.
Okay, so for someone that is returning to school, if you have a bachelor's degree, you do not have to have the ACT requirement. However, if you want to apply to the program, you must have a 21 or higher. And so if your score is older than those 3 years, you'll have to retake it. We do, ACT is the national organization. You can go there to apply for the exam, or you can contact testing on Jeff State campus if you're a Jeff State student. So you must have that 21 or higher. There is no exception to that outside of someone that has a bachelor's degree.
That's great.
Great question.
Well, thank you so much. If you do have other questions, we will be sharing these people's contact information as well. You can also reach out to my office with the recruiting office. So thank you so much, Dr. LeBlanc. We'll be going now to the veterinary technology program. Give us 1 second to get that started. Should go faster than the last one did.
Hi, I'm Christy Healy. Hi, I'm Christy Healy. I'm one of the instructors in the veterinary technology program at Jefferson State, and our program is veterinary nursing. So what a nurse is to a physician, a veterinary technician is to a veterinarian. It is a 2-year program, 5 semesters, and you have to get some general education courses in prior to applying, as well as some experience in a veterinary hospital, so that you kind of know if it's the career for you or not. So you can see what a veterinary technician does on a daily basis. Upon graduation, you qualify to sit for a national board exam and a state board exam, and then you are a licensed veterinary technician in Alabama. The price range, the salary range is around $35,000 to $45,000 a year upon graduation, but it depends on where you work. So you can work in a small animal hospital, like the veterinary clinic down the street that you see or drive by every day. You can work for a research facility like UAB or Southern Research. You can work for a vet school like Auburn or Tuskegee. We've got 2 great vet schools in the state. Or you could work for pharmaceutical companies, the USDA, the Forestry Service, the CDC in Atlanta, and research Ebola and coronavirus or whatever. So there's lots of different things that you can do with a veterinary technician degree and that license. We do, in a general hospital, in a regular clinic, we see patients and we get vaccinations, we assist with surgery, we do dentistry, radiology, we do client communication, educate the clients on how to take care of their pets in case it's their very first dog or cat, the nutrition aspects of taking care of their pets. We induce anesthesia and maintain anesthesia during surgical procedures. There's just a ton of things that we do in a veterinary hospital. Without technicians, veterinary hospitals wouldn't work. We do lab work. You can see all our lab equipment here. So there's lots of different things that you can do with the degree. I have veterinarians calling me every day looking for veterinary technicians. So it is definitely something that there's plenty of job prospects in Alabama. We have over 1,500 veterinary hospitals here. And so you can find a job down the street. You can find a job near the beach. You can find a job in Huntsville near the Space Center. There's just so much you can do with it. Plus, you can move out of state and practice anywhere in the United States with that veterinary technician degree. So it's really a good job to go into. Plus, sometimes you get to play with puppies and kittens.
All right, that is an introduction to our Vet Tech program. We have here Ms. Mickey Campbell to answer any questions you may have.
I'm Michelle Campbell. I do go by Mickey. I'm also an instructor in the veterinary technology program. And a couple of things I want to mention, along with what Christy has already said. Our program is taught online as far as the written part, the didactic part of the program. And then throughout the program, you will work in a veterinary clinic that you have secured as your clinical site. That clinical site does have to be in Alabama, and that is where you will do your hands-on task. So you don't have to worry about coming to campus, coming to Birmingham. We have students all over the state of Alabama, and we will come out at least once a semester and visit you in your clinical site. Also, I always like to point out, this is not a stepping stone to becoming a veterinarian. This is a different profession. This is a veterinary nurse. So we have had students that think they could take a couple of years here and then transfer to vet school, and that is not the course of the program. You will take your general education classes, and then you will have 5 semesters if you're going full-time with us to become eligible to take your national board exam to become a licensed veterinary technician. Okay, does anyone have any questions?
There was another question in the chat. Are there any high school classes needed to prepare for the Vet Tech program?
It is always good to take math, of course, and also biology, excuse me, biology and, I'm sorry, biology and anatomy.
And so with this program, what an incoming student will do is they will take 7 classes to prepare for it: English, math, speech, those general education classes, as well as Bio 103, and then they will apply for the program. So thank you so much. What's a good way to gain experience before starting the program?
We do require that students have at least 360 hours working in a veterinary clinic before they begin our program. So you should just go in person to different veterinary clinics. You might start with the one that you use for your own pet, but let them know that you are interested into getting into our program. Now, most of the time you're going to start maybe in the reception area or in the kennel area. Every area of the veterinary hospital is very important, and it's a good learning experience. But while you're there, do as much shadowing, as much when you can help in the nursing area, so you can actually see what veterinary technicians do. And that way, if you do this before you're in our program, which is a requirement, then you are kind of a part of that clinic, and it makes it much easier once you are actually in our courses and you're having to do tasks for our program in that clinic. You're already part of that clinic. You already know how things run. You already have an idea of things technicians do, and it will just make it flow much better. If you go to work at a veterinary clinic, and maybe it's a great clinic, but maybe it's not, you don't think it's a really good learning environment, that 360 hours prior to starting our program that we require, that gives you time to find the clinic where you fit. And where it will be a good learning environment for you.
That was a fantastic question, Matthew, and that's really just good advice for all of these programs. Get the opportunity to go and do some job shadowing, whether it's with physical therapy, veterinary nursing, human nursing, or the other programs we're going to look at. That's just a great way. So thank you so much, Mickey, as well, and we will move to the next one.
Thank you.
So this is respiratory therapy.
A respiratory therapist is an essential worker in the hospital setting as well as in home settings, and any kind of healthcare setting we're essential. So respiratory therapists are responsible for caring for any kind of patient who has problems with their breathing, problems with their heart and lungs. So we give breathing treatments, we run ventilators, we take care of the tiniest babies all the way to the elderly. We're taking care of those patients. Respiratory therapy is a very specialized program. So whereas other professions is kind of an overview and you have to know a little bit about everything, respiratory is very specialized. So you have to know a lot about the heart and lungs. And we are really specialized healthcare providers that know everything about that special area. So at Jefferson State, we have a wonderful program that is designed to get you ready to be able to take care of those patients. So we start here in the classroom, and we also have labs. So we have labs with lots of equipment that you will see once you're in the hospital. So you will take the time here to practice with it in the laboratory setting before you see it in clinical setting with the actual patient. So you've had the time to practice in the lab setting before you're comfortable taking care of a real patient. So the job market for respiratory therapists is booming right now. All the hospitals are short. COVID has, of course, helped with that. So every hospital around the Birmingham area at this moment needs a respiratory therapist to apply and to be hired. Respiratory therapy is a good program to go into if you have a passion for helping people. With respiratory therapy, you are responsible for taking care of a patient who's not breathing well. And when you're not breathing well, nothing else really matters.
All right, so my name is Jabril Diamond, and I am the acting program director of the respiratory therapy program. So told you a little bit about respiratory, so I didn't cover much of the admitting process. So we also require you to apply to the program, and you must be accepted into it. So we take applications in the spring after you complete your prereq. So you would need to complete some prerequisite courses first. Once you complete them all, you will apply in the spring, and then if you are accepted, you'll start in the fall of that same year. Then you will come take 4 semesters of classes with us. After you graduate, you will sit for board exams and also have to apply for licensure, and then you're able to apply for jobs as a respiratory therapist. We have lab courses. Like I said in the video, we work with simulators, so you're not going into the hospital before you're comfortable doing things on patients. Yeah, so any questions? I think that's it.
Michael, that's a great question for our respiratory therapy. For respiratory therapy, nursing, physical therapy, and the rad tech program, there's a slate of very similar classes you need to take. You need, of course, English, math. You need English, math, speech for every single program at Jefferson State in order to earn a degree. Then for all of those hands-on medical programs, you also need Human Anatomy 1, Human Anatomy 2, and at least 1 psychology class. What psychology class it is does depend on which one of those person-focused medical programs you're doing, but it is going to be those same classes for nursing or for respiratory or for rad tech or for the physical therapy assistant program. Great question. Jabril, how long does it take to become a respiratory therapist?
So our program is 4 semesters. So you will apply and be accepted. You'll start in the fall, and you will graduate the following fall after completing all the courses successfully.
Great. So what that means is you do 2 semesters of those preparatory classes and then 4 semesters of the respiratory therapy classes, so it would end up being 6 semesters. All right, we do have to move on. I think the ACT is an 18. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you. Now on to our next little video. Real quick, thank you so much, Jabril.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name
Got to get that screen share up. Here we go.
Is Leah Bigby, and I have the pleasure of leading the Center for Workforce Education here at Jefferson State Community College, which houses all of our fast-track skills training programs. I encourage you to go to our website, jeffersonstate.edu/fasttrack, to view our current schedule of offerings and detailed program information about our 11 healthcare fast-track courses. We have, like I said, we have 11 courses in our healthcare academy, and our programs only require a high school diploma, GED, or a government-issued ID. And please note that traditional federal funding is not available for our programs. However, our programs have very competitive price registration fees, and also we have a diverse array of scholarship options and financial options through grants for our students who are interested in our programs. The great thing about our programs is that we have clinical rotations as part of many of our programs, so you really get an opportunity to do on-the-job training after you do your skills training, and most of our clinical rotations are truly like a working interview where a lot of people get hired after they do the clinical rotations with our partners like UAB or St. Vincent. So we love to share that with the community and with potential students. The list of our courses is medical billing and coding, patient care technician, clinical medical assistant for vision, pharmacy tech, phlebotomy, dental assistant, administrative medical assistant, certified nursing assistant or CNA, and sterile processing. So many of those programs we've created because our employer partners have come to us and said, hey, we need sterile processing technicians, or hey, we need 20 clinical medical assistants for this quarter. How can Jeff State help us? And so we're really able to serve those needs of our partners. And so our programs are always aligned with those high need, high demand areas in healthcare. As we know, Birmingham is a healthcare mecca, so our programs really reflect that. And they're what they say they are. They're fast track. So our shortest programs are 6 weeks long. Our longest programs are a year long. And so the programs are all designed, especially with healthcare being an essential field, they're designed to quickly skill you for those specific roles. So we're really excited to share those with you today. And again, I'd encourage you to go to our website, jeffersonstate.edu/fasttrack to learn more.
All right, great. Now, Miss Bigby, are you here? Can you turn on your camera for us, please?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this great event to learn more about Jefferson State's healthcare programs. I'm really excited to represent the Center for Workforce Education, as I mentioned in the video. So we house all of the short-term skills training for the college that are aligned with workforce needs in our region. So I'll reiterate, please note we only require a high school diploma or GED and valid photo ID for our program. So no transcripts are necessary, no letters of recommendation or anything like that, because our programs are designed to quickly skill you, as I mentioned, for roles that are in high need, high demand in the healthcare region. So please let me know if y'all have any questions. We are always excited to talk about the programs that we offer, and it's as I mentioned, it couldn't be more important for these essential roles for the healthcare industry. I know UAB reached out to me yesterday and said, hey, can you please share out these job openings for clinical medical assistants? We have 41 openings now. Please share with your graduates. Please let your incoming students who are enrolling in these programs know that it's such a high need. So that's just a really good example of the way that we run employer-led training programs for the college.
All right, I think we have time for just one question. Seth Burkett, you raised your hand if you want to ask a question.
Does one of your programs include EMT technician or EMS?
That's actually going to be the next program we talk about. Is going to be that EMS.
All right. Well, please go to our website at jeffersonstate.edu/fasttrack to learn more, and our contact information is on the website as well. So please reach out. We'd love to speak with you, and you can also schedule an appointment with our coordinator of student success, Scotty Rainwater, and he can help you through the enrollment process. Thank you so much.
And so, like I said just a moment ago, we're about to start we're going to our EMS program now.
Hi, I'm Sandy Chamberlain, the clinical coordinator with the Jefferson State EMS program.
Hang on, sorry, 1 second. That was being all kinds of choppy. Huh. And now it's being even more choppy. Let's try this again.
Chamberlain, the clinical coordinator with the Jefferson State EMS program. I would like to give you a little bit of insight on what to expect if you join our program.
Sorry, this is being very, very odd here. Give me one moment. Try this again for the third time.
Program. We are a 5-semester program. We offer EMT, EMT Advanced, and EMT Paramedic. You will have the opportunity to pursue an associate degree when you finish our program. You have the opportunity to enter the job market after the first semester. Each 3 of our levels offer the opportunity for licensure, which is required in the state of Alabama. We are an accredited program. We work closely with area hospitals and EMS providers and rescue units to give you the opportunity for the best clinical experience. They are very student friendly and they like our program. You will get the opportunity to ride along on a rescue truck, on an ambulance, and participate in many skills within the ER. You'll meet fellow doctors, EMS professionals, and nurses that all work together for a positive patient experience. In addition to the clinical experience, we have designated lecture time and designated lab time that will give you the opportunity to apply real classroom applications into practical simulated scenarios using state-of-the-art high fidelity mannequins and other technology advancements. Our lab is fully stocked with the same equipment you would utilize in the field. EMS is not limited to working in an ambulance or a fire truck. A certification at any level gives EMS the opportunity to work in hospital ERs, cath labs, doctor's offices, dialysis centers, and many other places related to health care. EMS is too intense to cover all of the details and expectations of the program during this short presentation. If you would like more information, please stay for the Q&A session at the end of this presentation or contact me at a later date by my contact information listed on the Jefferson State website.
Sandy, you are here for us, yes? Sandy, are you here?
Jacob, she needs to be unmuted. Okay, she has it.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. Let me get you spotlighted real quick. I go down, sorry. All right, do we have questions for Miss Sandy?
I have a couple questions.
All right, go for it, Seth.
So I'm currently a Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service Explorer, and I currently train with explorers and attain hands-on experience. And I currently have my BLS CPR card certification. I have my NIMS 4 certifications to do ride-alongs with the fire department. And I was wondering, how can I obtain an applied science degree in 2 years and receive a certification in EMT technician, or will I need to attain a bachelor's degree in EMS, or can you tell me like the process? Because I'm interested in attending Jeff State in the fall to take EMT technician.
Okay, so we have 3 levels. It starts out as an EMT basic. You'll go through the basic program for 1 semester. You'll have the opportunity to test for your license and your national registry. After you test that, that gives you a license where you can go into the field. You can start working as an EMT once you obtain the license. Then you can go further and become an advanced EMT. That is also 1 semester. You will obtain an advanced license, and then you can perform advanced level skills. Then you will go into the paramedic program, which is 3 semesters. And after you get those 3 semesters in, once again, it is a licensure process, and you will be a paramedic. But you can go to work on a rescue unit or an ambulance, depending on the different policies of the different entities, with just a basic license. Some fire departments would prefer that you be a paramedic, but all ambulance services will hire people in as a basic, advanced, or a paramedic. We do offer the opportunity to obtain an associate's degree in EMS. It carries your basic courses like anatomy and physiology, English, math, speech, and a sociology of some sort to finish out your degree. But you can start without the degree and get the degree as you progress through the program, because we are advanced and basic is only 1 semester at a time. So many students choose to get in stuff like their math and English while they take the basic EMT and the advanced EMT, and then by the time they hit paramedic, all they have is their paramedic courses to do, which our paramedic part of the program does require that you obtain anatomy and physiology, math, and English and speech.
Yeah, so it's possible to get all the way up to that associate's degree as a paramedic in 6 semesters as well. So awesome. Thank you so much, Sandy.
Welcome.
We'll be going on to our next program now real quick. It's going to be our different career and learning options to help support students as they make these transitions from high school into the workforce and into college.
My name is Lynn Chambers, and I'm with Adult Education and Career Services. I'm a training specialist with Adult Education, and I want to tell you about some of the programs that we offer. Of course, since it's adult education, we offer GED classes, and we also offer high school diploma options. So if you want to get your high school diploma, we can help you with that as well. We also offer English as a second language class. We offer that on the Jefferson campus and the Shelby campus. We also offer Ready to Work classes, and Ready to Work class is a great class. It helps you get vetted to being able to go to work. It lets employers know that you're ready for the job and you can handle the responsibilities. Also in Ready to Work, we're learning to use VR, so it helps you to learn some of the skills that you would need on the job. Also in Ready to Work, right now we're offering a $175 stipend to complete the class. We also offer Pathway scholarships. Those are short-term certifications to get you into the job that you would like to be doing right now. You can get finished in as little as 8 weeks, and it gets you straight into the job that you would like to be a part of. We also offer MSSC training, which is logistical training and production training. We offer Connect to Your Future, so if you're 24 or under, we can get you involved with that, and it offers several stipends, and it gets you some education and some certificates to get you in the job force. We also have the One Stop Career Center, and we'd be glad to help you with your resume, cover letter, and we can also help you find employment if you're looking for short-term, long-term. We can help you out with that. We also do free tutoring. So even if you're a college student right now, we can help you with your reading skills, your math skills, and we'll be happy to help you with those. I also want to remind you that if you complete a GED class, Ready to Work class, MSSC training, those qualify you for a free college class at Jeff State. So we'd be happy to help you. Just let us know.
Were there questions for our Fast Track program? Or sorry, for our Career and Learning Center, sorry. I hear someone unmuting themselves, yes? All right, then if not, we will move on to our next video, which is going to be our Radiologic Technology program. Get that shared real quick.
Hi, I'm Christy Bolton, the Program Coordinator for the Radiologic Technology Program here at Jefferson State Community College. I want to take just a few minutes to tell you a little bit about our program. We are the only radiology program in the greater Birmingham area. We have 15 clinical sites that serve the Chilton, Shelby, Jefferson, and St. Clair counties. We are very proud to boast 100% job placement for our graduates within just a few months of graduation. Our program is broken down into several different components. First of all, you have the traditional classroom component where you have an instructor leading your course. Secondly, you have a lab component, as you can see here behind me, where we have students practice the art of radiographic positioning with an instructor. And then the last component is our clinical component, where students go into the clinical setting and practice hands-on experience with real live patients. Once students complete the program and are certified as a radiologic technologist, there are many job opportunities ranging from hospitals and clinic to sports medicine and application specialists. We look forward to giving you all the information that you need to get into the program. Just visit our website at jeffersonstate.edu. You will find the radiology program by going to the toolbar and typing in radiology, where you're going to find all of the information concerning your advisors, the program itself, as well as links to other opportunities. We look forward to seeing you in the future.
All right, Ms. Bolton, are you here for the...
I'm here, Jacob.
Fantastic, there you go. Oh, such a pretty painting behind you there. What questions do we have for Ms. Bolton? I think we have time for 2 questions for her. Thank you. Ms. Tamara Payne, the director of our Career and Learning Center, has just posted some more information in the chat for you all.
Jacob, let me say this while we're waiting. One of the questions that I have most often asked is about the ACT. The ACT score is a minimum of 18. And if you are not a high school student, if you are someone who is past the high school mark and you want to take the ACT, you can come to the college, to the testing center, and they can arrange the ACT residual score for you.
That is true, and it's important also to note that these ACT requirements for our different programs are not set by Jefferson State, they're set by the state of Alabama. So it's not us saying you have to have an 18 for rad tech, respiratory, or nursing, or a 21 for the physical therapy assistant program. It's the state of Alabama. So there's a great question for you, Ms. Bolton. How long to complete the program?
5 semesters from start to finish. We suggest that you take most of your prerequisite courses prior to the program, but they can be completed within the program itself.
Yep. Great question. I think time for one more short question. Then we will move on to medical laboratory technology. All right, then we will move on to the medical laboratory technology real quick and have our two presenters there.
Hi, student.
1 second.
Hi students, my name is Candy Hill. I am the program coordinator for the Medical Laboratory Technology program here at the Jefferson campus in Birmingham.
And I'm Dr. Wendy Sweet, the clinical coordinator of the program.
And we're just here to tell you a little bit about what the medical laboratory technician does in the hospital setting, as well as there's other types of facilities that you could work in, and we want to let you know a little bit about that. But the laboratory technician is actually the hospital employee that tests blood and body fluid and offers the doctors a report so that they can make a diagnosis of certain illnesses and diseases.
There are 4 different departments in the laboratory. I know a lot of people think, you know, blood work or lab tests, there's just like this one big machine and all blood goes on it and all these results spit out. But the lab instrumentation is very complex. There are 4 departments in most hospital laboratories. There's blood bank, where we do blood typing and set up units to transfuse people when necessary. There's hematology, where we look at cells, white cells, red cells. Chemistry, where we check levels of thyroid hormones, potassium, cholesterol levels, drug levels, you name it. And then last is microbiology, where we grow out organisms and identify them and help assist the physician in treating those.
And a lot of people, when they see a lab employee, they basically kind of relate us to that person that you see in the hospital that walks around with a tray and draws blood. Even though that is part of a skill that we will teach you in the medical laboratory technology program, it is not going to be your primary responsibility. Your responsibility is to use some of the equipment that you see and analyzers, and you're going to be performing the test. A lot of students ask about salary, and typically for a 2-year degree, the salary range is anywhere between probably about $19 to $20, $21 an hour, depending on the type of facility you work in, depending on your shift. We have a lot of hospitals in the area that are offering sign-on bonuses for our MLT students when they graduate, so that's also definitely an added benefit.
There are other job opportunities as well other than the hospital if that would not work for your personal schedule, your family schedule. Clinics employ MLTs, veterinary testing labs employ MLTs, life insurance companies. There are different opportunities besides the hospital. The salaries are all pretty much the same. Education.
Yeah, and so education does require a 2-year Associate of Science degree. Most of our general education requirements are quite the same as the other allied health programs you'll hear about during this health fair, with the exception of, as laboratory technicians, we do require you to take a general college intro to chemistry, and that kind of best prepares you for the chemistry that we'll teach you within the program. Once you're admitted to the MLT program, and I admit every summer and every fall semester, but once you're officially admitted to the program after you have completed math, English, your biology, and your chemistry general education requirement, then you'll finish the program within the next 5 semesters. We're a little bit different than some of the other allied health programs. most of our semesters, you will be getting your hands-on experience in a student lab here on campus, and then your 5th semester will put you in a clinical rotation where you'll get all of your applied practice and within one of the hospitals in the Birmingham area. So that's really.
I'll add one thing. The job market is wide open right now. We get emails 2 or 3 times a week from all over Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, all over the Southeast, because think about it, who's running all those COVID tests? So the job market is really good, the best I've ever seen right now.
So if you're interested, our program information is on Jefferson State's website, along with Wendy and my contact information, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
All right, thank you. We have Miss Candy Hill here now. I think we have time for one quick question.
Okay, sure.
It was a very thorough and fantastic presentation, though.
I would just like to add, on the introvert side, as personality traits go, because we like to work independently and by ourselves. And a lot of students choose this field simply because they don't like to have the patient contact or contact with family members and physicians as much as some of the other allied health and nursing degrees do. However, we are performing a very important part of the piece in the diagnosis of certain diseases and conditions. So that's something to think about if you're interested in this field.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Candy. We'll now go on to our biomedical equipment program. Give me 1 second to get that sharing up. Here we are.
My name is Eric Carwell. I'm the instructor and coordinator for the Biomedical Equipment Technology program here at Jefferson State Community College. The Biomedical Equipment Technology program is where we train our students, both men and women, on what it means and what it takes to be a biomedical equipment technician in the theoretical sense as well as the practical sense. So students in this program will come here and we'll give them the theoretical side of it, but we also have a unique opportunity to get into the labs and get into the hands-on aspect of it as well. So when students graduate from our program, they're able to leave our doors and walk into the doors of the employer ready to hit the ground running and able to actually service high-end medical devices and use high-end medical devices that are used by biomedical equipment technicians in the field. The salary range for the biomed tech kind of breaks down into regions, and for our region, the Southeast region, a student can expect to leave this program and go into the field making somewhere in the range of $38,000, $40,000 a year, and then it goes up from there. Now, different regions kind of break down differently, so I can't really speak to those, but I can speak for our region. So what does that mean for the average person? Most people don't even realize that biomedical equipment technology is a thing. But if you've ever visited a hospital, and you've ever had a family member to be in a hospital and connected to any type of device, any type of machine, well, there's a unique group of people who actually works behind the scenes to make sure that those machines and those devices are accurate and do what they're supposed to do. So if you didn't know it was a thing, you now know it's a thing. And if you're interested, if you like working with your hands, if you like working with computers, if you like figuring things out, then the Biomedical Equipment Technology program may be something for you. So if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at my email address, ecarwell@jeffersonstate.edu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. Are you here if folks have questions?
Yes, I am here, Jacob.
Fantastic. It's so good to see you. I don't get to see so many of my colleagues very often anymore, so it's nice to have you all here today. What questions you all have for our Biomedical Equipment Tech program? This is one of the programs, like he said, that a lot of people don't know it exists, but it is crucial to the functioning of pretty much every medical office that there is. Got to make sure that these diagnostic equipments are working correctly in order to accurately diagnose patients. So there's a question. Yep. With this program, would coding benefit? And what is the job demand?
Okay. So yeah, coding actually is a part of this job. Primarily, when people think of biomedical equipment technology, they think of, if they know what it is, then they think of the men and women who actually repair medical equipment and maintain the medical equipment in medical facilities. But there's another side to the industry that doesn't get talked about quite often, and that's the side where you actually go to work for a manufacturer. You could actually be one of the people who help to build the devices that are actually used inside of a medical facility, as well as the devices that we use to calibrate those devices. And those are the men and women who actually build these devices. And on that level, you get to deal with some coding and some other skill sets. So there is a component of our program where we actually, it's called Pulse and Computer Circuits, and we get into coding on the basic sense of things from a block standpoint. So we don't get into any particular program in terms of writing code, but we do get into it from a block aspect. And we have a capstone project at the end of that course where you actually build something. So you use coding and you use electronics, you use all of the things that we talk about and learn about to actually build something in this course. In terms of the job demand is wide open. Now, I can't tell you that all of the jobs are here in Birmingham, Alabama, but I can tell you that on any given day, if you go search for a job for a biomedical equipment technician, you'll find it all over the state, north, south, east, west, and even abroad. So the job field is wide open because a lot of the people who worked in this industry for many, many years are now retiring. And not to mention the fact that technology has advanced so much over the past few years that there are a lot of different areas inside of the career field that you can branch out into, such as IT. IT is now a big part of biomedical equipment technology. So you can get into the field and specialize in the IT side of it because networking, every device that anybody is connected to inside of a hospital on some shape, form, or fashion may be connected to the hospital network. So we have to actually maintain that component as well.
All right, thank you so much. Great questions. We are now moving on to our last program, which is, of course, our nursing program. So let me just make sure. If you haven't already, if you're an instructor watching this with the class, please do post in the chat who you are, what school you're with, and how many students are with you. If you are just a high schooler, if you haven't already posted, please post in the chat what school you're with. We're just trying to see who all is participating in this event today.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon. My name is Melissa Walker, and I am the campus chair for our nursing program here at Jefferson State. And I wanted to take a few moments to share a little bit about the field of nursing for you, to let you in on how we actually handle getting our students prepared to take the national licensure for registered nurses, and also to give you an idea of what you may kind of launch from here and go forward as far as education and career options. So the programs that we have here at Jeff State, you actually have two options now. One is our traditional RN program. It takes about 2 to 2.5 years to complete. It's an associate degree program. And we also offer another option with UAB, and it's called our joint enrollment option. And that program allows you to take courses here at Jeff State, and once you enter our program, you actually are taking courses with both UAB and Jeff State. And so when you graduate from our program, you actually graduate from UAB's Bachelor's of Nursing program. So you get 2 degrees in one hit. So it's a new option, and so I'd invite you to look at our website and call and ask us questions if that's something you'd be interested in. Now we're standing here in our simulation lab, and one of the things that we have really found that's exciting for our students is to have what we call a safety net of an environment like our simulation lab, so that you can interact with patients. Our patients can talk to you, they can have vital signs, we can start IVs, anything that we might do with a patient in the hospital, we can do here, but it's a safe zone. And so you can make a mistake, and it's no harm, no foul, but you learn from that. So hopefully you wouldn't have any kind of issue like that once you're in the actual hospital setting. Students gain a lot of confidence with their skills while they're here in simulation, and so these monitors these mannequins are just awesome to work with, and our students feel like it's a really good learning experience, and we're very proud of these simulation labs. And we have them on every campus. And so for our nursing programs, you can enter at Jefferson campus, Shelby, Pell City, and Clanton. And then we also have an evening option. So we're trying to help with your scheduling as well. So we understand work and home, kids, everything else that goes into life in general. And so we have several options for you to enter that way. What we hope is once you graduate from our program, that you'll be able to go into essentially any area of nursing that's of interest. There are usually only about 2 places that try not to have new graduates, and that would be like a recovery room or some of the ICUs. But for the most part, if you want to go labor and delivery, you want to work with babies, you want to go to children's, you can go into those areas after you finish with our program and become licensed. And so it's really a kind of a launch pad for you from here. You can also look at mobility programs in the university settings. So if you want to go back and get your bachelor's, your master's, your doctorate degree, your education is limitless as far as what you would be able to do with that. And so we hope at Jeff State we can help you get started in your nursing career, and look forward to helping you in the future and answering any questions that you may have at a later time. Thank you for your interest in Jefferson State's nursing program, and hope we see you soon.
All right, are you here, Dr. Walker? We have a couple good questions for you. There you are, so good to see you too. So first question is, in the joint enrollment option, does that take 5 semesters?
Yes, it takes 5 semesters, but you have to realize with the joint enrollment program, you have to complete all of the general education courses before you can be admitted to that option. And so that generally takes roughly 2 years. So the time frame is the same of whether you go through our program or whether you go straight through UAB's traditional program. First 2 years is general ed, and then with us 5 semesters. And within those 5 semesters, you'll be taking both Jefferson State and UAB coursework. It's a heavy load. It's a great option, but you have to come into it knowing that this is going to be a heavy load. And yes, those 5 semesters include a summer semester. So we go straight through.
How many are admitted at each campus does shift a little bit based on specific campus and based on semester. We do accept students at the Jefferson and Shelby campuses year-round, so fall, spring, and summer semesters, but the Clanton and Pell City locations, we do only accept students in the fall semester. And that evening program that Dr. Walker talked about is only at the Shelby campus and only begins in the fall semester. But this is a year-round program. It is 5 semesters, including summers, for a year and a half, basically. What is the required ACT score for this program? An 18 is the state set minimum for the nursing program. Dr. Walker, are there volunteer hours required before starting this program?
There are no volunteer hours required. If that's something that you would like to do, though, several of the hospitals allow shadowing of a registered nurse. With COVID hitting us, those are a little bit more difficult to find. But if you think that you're kind of unsure about what you might want to do, whether it's nursing or one of the other healthcare fields, then that would be something to contact the individual hospital and just ask and see what they can help provide you with.
It's a great question. And with that, at Jefferson State, if you have a certification like EMT or CNA or CMA or phlebotomy, if you have any of those kind of certifications, those can actually give you bonus points on your application to help you get into the program, because we recognize that having that experience is very helpful in making the transition to being a full nurse. Another question we have is, what would a competitive ACT score for the program be? The ranking scores are set primarily by the state of Alabama, and your ACT score is the largest part of your application to get into the nursing program. I have seen students get into the nursing program with just an 18, but if you have an 18 on the ACT, you really need to have A's in all of your required classes. So the ACT and the grades both work together. If you have a higher ACT score, it does increase your chances of getting in, but you really do need a mix of both good grades and at least an 18 on the ACT. If your grades are not all A's, you do need a higher ACT score.
And Jacob, one of the things that I encourage students to do is go out to our website, and under both the joint enrollment and the traditional options, there are links to the ranking checklist, and it literally has where you can enter in your grades and decide how many points those are worth, your ACT score, so you can kind of see what your ranking would be at any given time. And so you can kind of see how it flexes based on what your ACT score is, what your coursework is, and so forth.
And those ranking sheets are available for the nursing program, the rad tech program, the respiratory and the physical therapy program. So you can see exactly what's going to be required and what is the pathway forward to being accepted. Great. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Walker. I believe that sums up our meeting information here today. I'm going to put a few links in the chat for you before you go. So the first link is jeffersonstate.edu/programs. That's where you can see all of our allied health and technical programs together in a list. Also going to list up the Fast Track program link. That was where we talked about doing the nursing assistant program, the medical assisting program, medical billing and coding, as well as our phlebotomy certification that's non-degree. The Career Center, I don't remember that address off the top of my head. Are you still on here, Dr. Payne, and you can post to that? EMT program does not require an ACT score, no. Rad Tech, Respiratory, Nursing, and PTA are the programs that require an ACT score. Good question. Yep, and there's the direct nursing link. And then if you have other questions for us about this, I'm also giving you thank you, Ms. Young, giving you an email address here for our recruiting department where you can reach out to us and get help with any other questions you may have about starting at Jefferson State and any of our programs. Also, I must remember that the lovely and talented Topeka Fennell is here. She is our career coach. What email would you like? T Fennell. I'll put her email address in here as well. She's here to help students with that process. Fall application deadline just for admittance is, we don't really have one. As long as you apply by the first day of classes, which will be in August next year, for general admission, you'll get in. We just need an application driver's license. If you're applying for one of these specific programs, like the EMT program, they might have their own deadline. Go to that program website and check out the individual program codes. Great question. We do not have on-campus housing here at Jefferson State. That's nice, because on-campus housing is pretty darn expensive. I've never lived anywhere. I lived in very, very cheap dorms when I was in college, and I've never lived anywhere that was as expensive as the college that I went to. So getting your own apartment with friends and just splitting it is going to be a lot cheaper than living in dorms is anywhere. At most schools, the cost of living in the dorms freshman year is more expensive than tuition and fees. Great question, Ms. Kaler. Yes, we are recording this. It will be posted on our website in the near future. I don't know how soon, but we do have the recording being finished right now. I probably should have paused the recording to answer that question because it's going to seem a little weird in the recording, but great question. Last call for questions before we end. Like, Carmen, you mean like neuroscience? Great. So Jefferson State is a community college. So these are our specific programs to get you an associate's degree in a medical field and be certified nationally to work in specific fields. If you do want to go on for a bachelor's degree or for a medical degree of any sort, Jefferson State can get you on that pathway as well. We'll have the foundational, of course, the general classes, as well as the biomedical and the chemistry classes you're going to need in order to then go to a university to complete your bachelor's degree. So great question there. So while we don't have a direct neuroscience degree, that's something you would focus on in your junior and senior year at the university of your choice after attending Jefferson State. And we do have quite a few students that I'm aware of that have gone on to do medical degrees. We also have, and this is a great thing we should mention here, this is a good audience for it, we have a biomedical research partnership with UAB where we are guaranteed that at least 7 of our students each year get to do biomedical research internships at UAB. It's a paid internship. They make about $5,000 over the summer working in a mentor-mentee relationship with either one of the medical doctors or one of the research PhDs at UAB. It looks incredible on a resume. It's going to be incredible if you do want to go on to med school later on. I've got 2 of the students that I worked with very closely here at Jefferson State in our ambassador program who both did that when they were students here, when they were ambassadors, and are both now going into medical school at UAB. So it's a really cool program. So thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and be safe. We look forward to helping you find your place here at Jefferson State.